Well, let's start with the usual updates on Nedzo. We had some important ones this week for sure, and also covering some of the not only updates but also improvements in the engine. And on top of that, what we see uh, our clients or our users using or leveraging to get the best and quickest results. Well, let's start with the Neos. So after 1.5 weeks of working thoroughly on our Insight engine, increasing especially or decreasing the latency in the normal AI voice agents, making the whole voice communication infrastructure more robust, reliable, and scalable for our standard users. And now we are, again, smooth sailing. So you will notice that not only did we add a lot of new voices in the last couple of weeks, especially English speaking voices with different accents, different flavors for everyone. We also brought down the latency tremendously. So now we are monitoring to see if it's like too quick, or if it's just right, right on. So that's that. Also, very recently we added the functionality to enable our users to make multiple call transfers with one agent only. So instead of only transferring to one number, you can transfer to a multitude of different numbers. And that, Ivo, is anything else that I'm missing when it comes to current updates or recent updates?
That plus, yeah, we had some bug fixes, like mostly like small visual fixes on mobile and things like that. Yeah, we made sure that we made everything faster. We're warming up our LLM now, so it will be faster. Um, yeah, it's a lot of small extra issues that don't require mentioning actually here.
There's one in specific that anyone who's been a long-term user, or at least a user for more than 2 weeks, probably noticed that there used to be a delay between the first line, the opening line, and then the rest of the conversation. So that is what we were working on, like super hard to be able to bring that down and down and down and down. Of course, we have our enterprise plans where we have a little bit more flexibility, but I'm happy to say that at least from our tests and also the feedback is that it's pretty smooth. So if anyone
Oh,
finds any consistency, definitely flag us those call IDs. But in general, we've seen that the speed is pretty good under 1 second.
and we did make some significant improvements actually to the voicemail detection. And before, sometimes it could happen that like if a voicemail was like completely empty, nothing was being said, that the AI was like, "Are you still there?" And then wait 10 seconds, "Are you still there?" Basically using almost a whole minute on an empty voicemail. That has been cut down. It will definitely not do that anymore.
Right on. Um, as we are going through that, one thing, this is definitely helpful for anyone who is in charge of overseeing the AI communications, or also users that are potentially trying to showcase their users if they are reselling, for example, or white labeling. What is the best way to show ROI? Because we know that's an interesting topic and an interesting conversation that even I have sometimes, which is we see some people that still they still hang tight to the cost per minute, and others to the result per call, which is totally fair. And we thought, okay, but what are we really buying once we tap into the AI world, the AI space? We hear these words like agentic uh, models, where we are included at as well, of course. So essentially, AI in general, at least this is our perspective, saves time first, and then increases predictability and consistency. And the reason why we added a small feature. I don't know if even a lot of users noticed that. A small feature, but that showcases a little bit better what is your ROI? What are you really getting out of a cloud communication infrastructure, like AI driven, like Nedzos? And here, the first tile that you see here on the left, time saved. We saw incredible things from, and this is on a workspace level, by the way. So we saw incredible things like accounts or users or workspaces saving 30 days, over 600 hours with only one workspace. And this just, we shouldn't, of course, compare this with human wages or anything along those lines. We should just look at the time itself. Because time is the only resource that we can't buy back, or at least it's not so cheap. Then, of course, the reason why we had a time saved, not only to give you a good idea of what is the ROI from a time perspective, but also just a quick sneak peek into future features. We are working hard on bringing reports, monthly automatic reports. Uh, we don't have an ETA yet, but our team is definitely very, very excited working on that feature, which essentially will help you to get like a once a month or once a week. We haven't decided yet, but at least once a month, you'll receive a report showing you high level or important metrics so that if you have a board meeting, if you have a team meeting, and you want to discuss things and see how things are going, that will definitely be super helpful to bring to that meeting and show the number and look at the numbers. Ivo, is there anything that you want to add on that end?
No, I think you added everything already that is there. Yeah, I cannot think of anything right now to add that wonderful information what you already gave.
Well, just to wrap it up, and then we can definitely go and ask if anyone has any questions, is still we like to utilize these office hours for anyone who is the first time to share a little bit of roadmap, thoughts, and of course support. But essentially, what's on the roadmap right now? We are working very, 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 very hard, and I cannot wait to just launch or send a bulk message to all our users. Nedzo Copilot or Prompt Copilot. Essentially, we are bringing our web agent technology to the forefront of our UI, removing the need for you to prompt, meaning that you can just tap the button in your agent detail page. You have the option to do it via text or voice. I think voice is cooler. Have a conversation. Our prompt copilot will ask you a couple of questions, a dynamic conversation, and then based on that conversation, we'll fully write the prompt. And then, of course, you can still upgrade, update, change things on the prompt, of course, and it will be super helpful. So we will be able to bring down the prompting time from, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes to less than 2 minutes, essentially.
Yeah.
Next on the pipeline, and a lot of people recently have been asking for that, it's custom fields. That will come right after the Copilot. Custom fields allowing you to bring or to create what it means exactly additional fields that the AI then can use and leverage for context throughout the calls. More will be revealed next week. But yeah, I think these are the most important news. These are the things that we are working on, and I'm super stoked and happy about like the latency that we managed to hit, or lack of latency. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself, ask away, or and we can start there.
Couple questions. I didn't know if my partner was gonna ask, but we're trying to use it. We're brand new, just really trying to get it figured out. But we're trying to use it for outbound calling, for appointment setting, and although it does a great job most of the time, sometimes it feels like it kind of steamrolls from one sentence to the other sentence. It just doesn't give a normal human like pause, and is a little, so some of the feedback I've gotten is speaks a little too quickly and maybe too aggressively. We've tried to slow him down without any luck, of making him a little less aggressive and a little slower speaking. Is there any way to do that?
Ivo, want to go ahead?
Right now, there is not directly a way to slow it down.
Okay.
You can prompt it to make sure that it will only, you can add in the prompt to, how do I say this?
It
Make
active.
sure that, sorry, yeah, what?
Yeah, like essentially, I think what you're trying to convey is there's a way where you can add, make sure that it gives some extra space for the user to, or for the contact to express themselves and not cut them off, or not just like jump from one question to the other, make it more conversational.
Okay.
Yeah, literally just like adding, make it more conversational, make sure that you confirm what the user says before continuing. Give compliments about what the user says before continuing, things like that.
Okay.
And one last thing that I would add on that topic is just that we have different voices with different speed settings, meaning that some voices are designed to be a little bit slower or more slow
Oh,
paced than others.
okay.
That would definitely,
Yeah.
you'll see different characters and different behaviors based on the voice.
Okay. Great. And then I guess somewhat related, some mostly unrelated. Is there any future ability to upload your own voice, to do the whole use your own voice option, as some systems will do? I know that's probably much more technical, but just curious.
That's it's a very interesting question in the sense of yes, we are able to do that, but we can't. Meaning that in the US, for from a legal standpoint,
Mm.
we are not allowed to. You are not allowed to clone your voice and use it for outgoing calls. Meaning that you can
Oh,
use it for
interesting.
podcasts, you can use it for like videos, anything. That's
Okay.
why you see some products that allow you to clone your voice.
Okay.
Now, there's a thin line there, which is to be able to use your to clone your voice and use it for outgoing calls. Um, there's some bureaucracy around it. Now, with our enterprise solutions, we are able to cover some of that and able to offer some solutions that might, depending on the use case, allow that. But in
Okay.
general, the reason why we don't allow that from the platform for the standard plans, just because it can be very quickly get you in the red zone.
Gotcha. Okay. And I guess I'll keep asking a couple questions, just thoughts I've had as we've been playing around. Um, any way to have it send a mid-conversation text or email, or play an audio file mid-conversation?
Ivo?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Well, for instance, if it outbounds and gets into a conversation, could it ever send a mid-conversation text like, "Hey, John, what's your phone number? I'll send you a text that links to this website I want you to look at," or something like that, or some piece of information that we might want to get in their hands right now to look at. Um, or alternatively, and I'm thinking in terms of like customer reviews, like voice recorded reviews. Hey, here's what one of our customers said. Listen to this. Play an audio file in the middle of a conversation right over the phone to them. Is anything like that a possibility?
Directly on the phone, not yet. That is
Okay.
a function that is definitely coming too, but it's not there yet. In the
Okay.
meantime, I would recommend to use the end of call report and
Okay.
then build an automation based on that. So if you
Great.
get, if a call finishes, it will send an end of call report, and then maybe based on outcome or maybe based on what the person says in the transcript, you can build your own automations to send text messages, emails, whatever.
Okay,
And again,
perfect. That's all my
yes,
questions.
just
So,
to wrap that Evo's answer, and we in the standard plans, no, but like in the enterprise solutions, yes, you can make like mid-call functions like texting, email while still on the call and then confirming or taking payments. But
Okay,
okay, so which one,
great.
which program is that? Because I got that same situation where a client would say the client would say, well, I haven't seen it. Okay, well, can I shoot you over an image of it? Via text. Would you prefer text or email? So to put those triggers in, is there an advanced software that you have that can do it? Is that a
good
yes or a
question.
no?
Good question. So as long as all the actions, if as long as you're okay that all the actions happen as soon as the call ends, yes.
Mm,
With our standard plans, everything can be automated. So for example, hi, in the same example, I'll shoot you a message with an image, so on and so forth. As soon as they end the call, you can use Zapier or make.com, any automation tool that will you can analyze the transcript, for example, and then based on that, shoot a text message or shoot an email with that resource. The same thing would go with sending a payment link or a text message. What I was referring to was doing it while still on the call without hanging
mhm.
up. Yeah.
Right. I have another issue that I even just got off the phone with a complaint. When the if you have a company that's, let's say, small to medium sized company where they've got, let's say, 5 or 10 real estate agents. They pick up the phone and they say, hi, you've reached Sam Smith's Real Insurance. Um, and the AI agent just says, okay, hi, may I speak with, hi, is this Bob? I mean, is there any way to slow that process down? So it says, no, this isn't Bob. One moment, please. It's not queuing in. It seems like it's only works if you're calling one individual at that company and that is their direct line. Do you
Sure thing.
understand what I'm saying? So
Absolutely. So
is there a pause or some way to make sure that it's reaching the contact person that's in the script?
mhm. Yeah, so that's a very good question. So that comes more from a prompting, it's more prompting thing than anything else, and also who you're contacting, who you are reaching out to. So first of all, that can happen, at least as far as I know, or the most common use cases would be hitting a gatekeeper or a receptionist or hitting, for example, an IVR system, right? Now, if if you have a list that has mixed contacts, some will be like direct I don't know, direct users. They can just reach out to Bob directly. The other ones will have receptionists in the middle or IVR systems. It's just important that the opening line, the opening statement that the AI that you add in doesn't include the personalized variable like first name. You could say, hey, you can say have the AI saying, hey, I'm James. Can I talk to someone in charge of the sales department? It really depends on how you prompt it. And then this is from an opening line statement, but then also within the prompting area, it's one of the most important things that our users that see the most success with Nedzo leverage is giving them context, like telling the AI, "Hey, this is the environment. This is the context. This is why you are reaching out. This is who you're trying to reach out to." And then giving them the different circumstances, like would train a normal human. You would say, "Well, if a receptionist picks up the phone, make sure to do this or say that." Instead of giving them script style of prompts, giving them more like guidelines, and then based on those guidelines, ensuring that you cover the different scenarios that it might encounter. Does
Well,
it make
can you
sense?
can you send over? I mean, I wouldn't know how to necessarily include that in the script, but that's a major problem I'm having, and I'm not getting results because of it.
All right. Yeah. So we can definitely, if you have access to our academy, right? Nezo Academy.
Yeah, Yeah, I have
So
access to
if you wouldn't
PCAM.
mind, just drop a post there, and our team, we might even be able to like just write a prompt for you, drop it there, and you can give it a test and let us know.
Okay.
Awesome.
Can I
Sounds good.
circle back to the former question my partner asked about speed? To be clear, as far as it's steamrolling, all we're trying to achieve is that, let's say, 10% more conversion as far as when a human picks up. I don't want them to disqualify it because it's going so quickly. What I was trying to do is I can tell that the prompts are very sensitive to if you say the word never or always, it really adheres to that very well. So today, all I'm trying to do is get it to our very intro verbiage of, hi, I'm just trying to set an appointment for this. I just wanted to slow down and make a little bit more pausing in between those initial statements. So I told it today, pause for 2 seconds between each of these 3 phrases on the opening, just to make it a little bit more human, more casual. And it ignored that. And then I even tried to put pause in brackets, and it actually read the word pause to me. So is it not possible to prompt it to just slow down on that one part? I don't need to slow down in general, just kind of on that opening to make it feel a little more conversational. Can I not
Yes,
say define a pause?
I would recommend then to use more commas and periods, or 3 periods behind each other. The AI should really listen to those and add pauses, basically.
Okay.
And if you don't mind that it's broken up in multiple sentences, for example, if you have one long sentence, it will run through it. We know. If you are saying like a part of the sentence, maybe ask for confirmation.
Yeah.
And then continue the sentence. That would also be a way. Or add like or in between. So
Okay.
it sounds like it's thinking.
Okay.
One
So
thing.
it would not. I cannot prompt it to say pause for 2 seconds, for example.
No, unfortunately not.
Okay, but I like that. We could put an in there, which makes it sound more human. I like that. Okay, all right. I'll play off of that.
No, absolutely. Because the way, just to explain the what happens on the back end is like it's interesting because we get to this point where we feel that we are talking to like almost a person, but in reality there are so many different systems working together. In essence, what it reads and what you listen are different things, meaning that it reads text, but it spits out sound. So with the text, when it's the translation engine is converting it from text to speech, it's just reading it, but it's not reading for the pauses. So even though there are some advanced projects that we are working on to, of course, make it more human-like, one trick on top of that might help is in the role. When you say, let's say you're senior advisor, say you are human-like AI senior advisor. If you get human-like, and then if you get something like, let me see if I can pick up here a couple things that will, here, for example, I might be able to share my screen. Here, for example, language guidelines. You can work on their personality, like be laid back, use sometimes sound more natural, vary your statements to avoid repetition and mimic prospects' language. And you don't need to do exactly this. Just add one thing at a time that you feel that could help. And you can add like language guidelines or additional language guidelines.
I like that.
Can you maybe copy that into the chat, Dennis, so he has a starting point what to do?
Yeah, let me.
I took a screenshot, but thank you.
Oh,
thank you.
All right.
Let's hear, Brett.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then forgive me, I've been asked to come in and help build the prompt. I'm wrapping my head around it. I wanted to see what it would do if I switched the company, like think more agency. I switched the company name, I switched the company objective, and it did it beautifully. But when I went to add a resource for knowledge, it already saw that I had a resource for my first company, and they were not one and the same. So from a high level, if I want to run a separate campaign for a separate company, is this simple answer that I need a second subscription?
Good question.
Mm,
No. So Eva will be able to expand more on the specifics of this, but essentially, knowledge base currently, of course, we have different plans, but on our standard plans, the knowledge is applied on a workspace level. Meaning, if you have
Okay.
the second workspace, the ideal scenario would be workspace 1 is company A, workspace 2 is company B. And then you have different knowledge for each one of those workspaces, because
Okay.
that way they will learn more and more and become better and better. We use machine learning in the backend to make all your agents function better. But then, of course, on enterprise level, we have the option to bring the knowledge to an agent or organization level, which is a little bit more complex. But so the
Okay.
standard, to keep it simple, it's on a workspace level across all agents, right, Ivo?
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
We must not
So
have a high enough tier for that then. And maybe we need to look at
so
that.
yeah, which plan do you have?
I'm trying to see the exact. Coy, are you still on?
Do you see
I
workspaces in the
think
top bar?
it's just the basic $100 per month just to start out.
Yeah, that one doesn't have any workspaces, unfortunately. So
Okay.
the
Okay.
next plan does. The next plan you have 10 workspaces.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, like Dennis said, currently, if you add knowledge to the knowledge base, then all agents will be trained on that information.
Okay. Um, the other thing I was just curious about too, again, I'm mesmerized by all of it. Can you train it verbally when you're doing a practice call with it? Can you tell it, hey, make sure you never say that and say this instead, and will it incorporate that into future calls?
So that
In other
is
words,
what
can you prompt it verbally?
yeah, so that is what the Nedzo Copilot that I mentioned at the beginning of the call. That's the feature that we are. Should I say that we are shipping it this week? Probably not. I shouldn't be saying this out loud. We don't. We are trying to, but we'll see. The idea is that yes, you can prompt it just by having a conversation with it.
Interesting.
Now, one thing to keep in mind though is our agents, and as one of the things that makes us stand apart is our agents learn because we use an advanced RAG system, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. And what it means is with each and every interaction, whatever you have on your knowledge base, for example, let's say you upload everything from your website, and it understands that a lot of people are asking about the pricing, and the way it responded worked well. The more people asked about something, the same way that lead scoring works in sales, more interactions mean better. It will
Yep.
do the same with information. The more
Sure.
times people ask about this, the quicker, the better we'll be at overcoming that or giving that information in an accurate way.
Okay. So going along with that, if we're wanting to run in a single workspace, now that I understand the language, we want to run a single workspace, but we want to A/B split test two agents against each other. How can I make them distinct? Like maybe they share the same knowledge, like of our services page on the web, but how could I make them distinct and kind of keep them separate where they're learning on their own track? Do you have any guidelines for that? Like I don't want version A to influence B so much that it doesn't try different things, right? To your point of it learning a better response rate, so it's going to lean this way a little bit. How can I keep them distinct?
Yeah, so that is the knowledge base is mainly learning how to use that information better. So that would definitely be like another workspace then in that case, if you wanted to use different knowledge bases, basically. If it want,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
Sorry?
I'm not. I think The best way to think about it is the prompt. So you have the bar on top with prompt, actions,
Yep.
knowledge, variables, and advanced, right?
Yep.
So he was 100% right on what he was saying. But what I would probably add is the prompt is behavior. Knowledge is extended intelligence, meaning that
Okay.
if you want, they will always behave differently based on the prompt. The knowledge that they gather is just like an additional source of information. It's like if you think of your company when someone comes in and you train them on the SOPs, or you train, they will have different SOPs, right? If they have
Yep.
different positions have different SOPs, they will
Yep.
behave differently. But then they all should know information about your company, your products, and have a general broad understanding so that even if a sales rep or a customer success rep, someone asks a question right out of the blue, it doesn't go like, oh, let me check with my manager, right?
Right. Right.
So yeah, behavior prompt, advanced intelligence, knowledge base.
Okay. Okay. All right.
But
It's
of course, if you
amazing.
want to be 100% unbiased, you can do just like Eva said, like have different workspaces.
Right. Break the workspace out. Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's brilliant. Brilliant.
Awesome. Cool. Does anyone has any other questions they want to go over?
Oh, no, I'm good. Thank you.
All righty. Well, in that case, before we wrap up, um, just a couple things there I think that are interesting for us to share. Eva, do you remember when we had this conversation about like how the bigger companies or companies with the bigger use cases tend to go for support first, and then like usually SMBs tend to go with sales.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one of the most interesting things that we found while going through the data and different results is that even though AI voice agents or AI agents in general can perform brilliantly across multiple tasks. And of course, we are moving into a direction where uh, agents or agentic agents that can actually perform actions pre, during, and post call autonomously. It's no longer just a dream, it's a reality. We just need it just for some circumstances too resource intensive. But um, we definitely see that when you add if let's say your customers, if you are B2C faced or B2B, doesn't make too much of a difference. The ability to ensure that no call goes to waste, even if you just get like 20 calls a month, if you do something like Google ads, or if you just have SEO running, using our web agents, we truly see them as the new way of lead capture and customer service online. Web agents are hyper customizable. You can make them look, behave, the layout, everything can be customized. But essentially, the beautiful thing that changes a website from just getting traffic in general, or when someone wants to reach out to your company, you have these forms with name, email, phone number, leave a message. It's too big of an ask, especially in this day and age. It's like when we see those forms, we're having a conversation about this. It's like asking someone to marry you before even knowing what's in it for them. They don't know like what are these guys going to do with my information? How soon will they get back to me? And instead, asking you to unmute yourself, it's a soft ask that anyone is willing to do. And then it's a very engaging and a good experience. Just starting a conversation. Hi, this is James with XY Company. How can I help? And just starting a normal conversation, pick the right tone for that. And as it goes, it will capture information dynamically. No need for a form. Beautiful thing, you don't even need to embed a calendar. It will book the appointment for you as well automatically, all in one. And we gathered so much data just from our own web agents. It's mind-boggling. If one stat that we can share is over 60% of our demos, all different shapes and sizes, are booked by our web agents. So even if you get a fraction of that, just imagine if you have 100 visitors on your website a month, even if 5 of them, you can capture their information and they become leads almost for free. That will bring a good ROI. All right, guys.
If I don't use your phone number, if I get like I got a phone number from High Level, and I when I use that agent, it's not working. Well, how do I make that happen? Because right now I'm always using, I guess would be the one of your phone numbers.
So
That's
what is that
popping
working?
up.
Outbound or inbound?
Outbound.
Okay. Do you think this would definitely be something we have to look at then in the support maybe? Because we believe everything should be working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would it register still where the time log is at the top that says this many minutes is gone? Would it
Oh,
decrease the minutes?
yes. Quick question, JB. Have you imported your number from the High Level into Nedzo? You imported it?
Yeah.
Have you assigned it to an agent?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So yeah, so even if you're using the caller ID from a different, let's say you imported any caller ID, you're not using, let's say it's registered on High Level, it's not using High Level credits or system, it's using our system. So that's why it will still use minutes, but it won't consume any usage on any other service or platform. Does it make sense?
Well, yeah, okay. So in other words, I should not see the billing, the cost of the actual airtime used. If
On High
I
Level.
no, not on High Level, on your system.
No, on ours, you should. Imagine, let's say you have a business, let's say your carrier is TNT, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you import your number into Nedzo. When Nedzo makes outbound calls, it will use your AT&T caller ID, but it will not use AT&T's network, meaning that you will not be billed by AT&T, but you will use minutes with Nedzo because it just masks the number for outgoing calls.
Ah, okay, okay. So in other words, the rates that Twilio is charging, I mean, that's, it's a big difference there.
You shouldn't be, you are not billed, when you use Nedzo, you are not billed by Twilio or any other
Right,
system.
right, right, right. Okay. All right, guys. Well,
Awesome.
thanks so much. You
Thank
guys have
you.
a good day. All right, bye.
Awesome. You too. We are about
Thank
to
you
wrap
too.
up. So thank you everyone for tuning in. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We have our in-app support. We have team at Nedzo.ai, and also our academy. Right. Have an amazing rest of your week. Catch you all soon.